In this video, we are going to talk about Jasmy, some of its recent price action, the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of Jasmy to go in the next few days and weeks. So we'll start by looking at the weekly chart, and what we can see here is that in 2025, it has been absolutely horrible for the price of Jasmy. From the absolute peak this year, Jasmy went down about 90%, but this dump in 2025 pales in comparison to the dump back in 2021, when we've seen Jasmy drop about 99% in just a few months. This was an absolutely devastating dump for Jasmy, and then after this dump there was the bear market of 2022, so Jasmy didn't really get any type of recovery up until 2024, and then in 2024 it actually did really well, going up about 800%, and then of course came the dump in 2025 that I talked about. So can Jasmy get a recovery once again like it did in 2024? We've seen Jasmy just continuously dump with basically no green candles at all since about July, and now with the price of Jasmy being at about 0.006, it is at a support area. As you can see, at the area that we are at right now, we've seen Jasmy get rejected. This used to be an area of resistance back in 2023. We've hit this as resistance 3 times before in these highs. So this is a pretty important support area, but in my opinion, this is not the most crucial support area. The most important one would be the one just below it right here, because this is the absolute lowest point that Jasmy ever was at, and every time Jasmy hit that area, it got a pretty significant rally. So right now, we need to see whether Jasmy holds this support area that it's at right now, or if it breaks down below it, and then it will most likely head all the way down to the area of the all-time low and the next support area. And then if it also loses that, then that would be absolutely horrible for Jasmy, and it would likely not recover whatsoever from there. But right now the situation is not that horrible, and there is definitely some hope. In the last few weeks, we have seen Bitcoin get a pretty significant recovery. Obviously, in the last few months, since the all-time high for Bitcoin, it dumped all the way down to about 80k, but since then, in the last few weeks, it got a recovery to over 90k. But despite this pretty significant recovery by Bitcoin, we have not seen Jasmy follow it. Usually, most altcoins do follow Bitcoin, and they have a very high correlation with it. And we've seen many other altcoins get a relief rally followed by Bitcoin, but Jasmy, as you can see, is not one of them whatsoever, and it looks like the dump for Jasmy is just continuing. And although we haven't really lost this support area just yet, we are already pretty deep into it. The support area starts at about 0.008, and we're already significantly below that. So if Jasmy loses this area of about 0.0055, I would say, and closes a weekly candle below that, then that would be a pretty strong confirmation that Jasmy has lost the support area and that it will dump way below that to the next support area at around 0.003. But there is definitely a lot of potential for Jasmy to get a reversal from the support area right now, but it is not looking that likely in my opinion, because we haven't seen any type of reversal for Jasmy yet, despite it getting to the support area and Bitcoin getting a relief rally. I think that it would be a lot more likely if Bitcoin continues its rally and heads over 100k very soon. And I do think that Bitcoin will head over 100k in the coming months, but whether that happens very soon in the next few weeks, or Bitcoin first consolidates or even gets a slight dump and only then gets the relief rally to over 100k is uncertain, and the timing of it happening is also very important. So as long as Jasmy continues holding the support area and Bitcoin heads to over 100k, then a relief rally for Jasmy is pretty likely. If Bitcoin gets very close to the previous all-time high and Ethereum follows it, and we get a mini alt season and a period of euphoria in the entire crypto market, then Jasmy has a very good chance of actually getting a significant relief rally. Jasmy is an incredibly volatile coin, and a relief rally for Jasmy with an alt season could lead to it getting an absolutely insane return. I think the first target for a relief rally for Jasmy would be to these previous highs. As you can see, earlier in 2025, we've seen Jasmy create a double top right here that then led to this dump in the last few months. So if we do see the scenario that I just talked about, with Bitcoin getting close to the previous all-time high and Ethereum followed it, and then a period of euphoria and an alt season, then the first target in my opinion for Jasmy would be to get all the way up to this previous high. This would be to about 2 cents, and this would be an absolutely incredible rally of about 3x from where Jasmy is right now. But with that being said, I think that it is too early for Jasmy to really make such a move, and Jasmy will likely continue to struggle, at least compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think that really, even in the good scenario for Jasmy, it will likely just continue consolidating and staying at this support area and lagging behind Bitcoin. And in the worst scenario, if Bitcoin just consolidates or even gets a slight dump, then Jasmy will likely just lose this support area and head significantly lower, all the way down to the next support area that I talked about, and that would be a dump of about 50%. So of course, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but in my opinion, the incredible risk that comes with such a low market cap and volatile coin like Jasmy would not be justified, considering how weak the structure for Jasmy is and how reliant it is, in my opinion, on Bitcoin getting a very significant rally and not just a slight recovery. So I would definitely avoid Jasmy at the moment. It could be a much better opportunity later, but I think that at least for the next few weeks, it is not going to be a good idea to get into Jasmy. Again, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but I would personally avoid it. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Jasmy as well as other altcoins and the entire crypto market, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.